Hi, good day. My name is Tunde Obataya. As you can see, I am representing Team 7, and we have been given this audacious task of building a web API in order to satisfy your company XYZ. Uh, my teammates have done a fantastic job in putting this together. Shout out to Sarah Court, Zenlin, and Tamali as they've set up this proposal. Uh, They've worked as I believe Tamale worked as a project manager. Sarah was able to work as the analyst to define what our requirements would be. Uh, Zylin was able to help as a project manager setting the deliverables, and myself was able to set up the website to showcase the needed data. So moving forward to our project summary, um, we've been asked to show a proof of concept of a web application to demonstrate our abilities. I believe we've been able to do that. We will be showcasing from a sample data set that we've gotten online, which is the Billboard chart records over the past, I believe, since 1958 till date. We showcase that in a bit, and we've been able to set up an API to pull data from its records by using a multitude of tools. Moving on, we've been able to get our data set about the weekly. It shows the weekly Hot 100 singles chart. Even though it is originally from Billboard.com, our data set was obtained from Data World. The URL is what you see here highlighted. It came as a CSV, and we are able to use Python to access the data and pull it into our environment to build. So a couple of techniques that we've used: web scraping to get the data that we require, analysis, discovery analysis, comparative analysis. The key tools that we use, and I will showcase a bit of the code: Visual Studio Code, SQL Alchemy, Python Flask. D3 is our JavaScript library to showcase the lovely charts that we will be showing today. And these are a couple of the requirements of what we had to do. All right, so great visualization for you to understand the process that went in here and the dates where we set up our deadlines and timelines, and we're able to achieve all this, which is great because we actually have the site up and running. But before I get to the site, I'm just going to go into a bit of the other um, tools that we use. So here is the data set that I mentioned. Uh, we have it online at HotSub CSV. It shows records from Billboard chart. If you look to the left here, we can see that we have records from 1958 all the way to 2019. Our records have about 320,000 rows, which was a bit daunting, but thankfully we were able to get the work done. So in place of the cloud server, I was stipulated in the requirements. Say we were able to use Heroku. Heroku is open source, allows you to put your apps on clouds as well as your database. So what we have here is Heroku. Heroku runs on Progress SQL. As you can see, a lot is going to setting this up. So this is our overview in the last 24 hours. Funny things that we got our app up and running just barely minutes before the deadline after trying so many things to figure out what was going wrong. So as you can see, we're attached to our Heroku Progress database. I'm just taking a look there so you can just see a bit of what that is about. Okay, so Heroku, pretty much you can see what I have here. I have two connections. One of the connections happens to be the scheduler that has been set up as a separate application. I'll show you that in a bit. And the other is what we have here. Okay, so this is the side of our data set. We do have a whole table. If I take a look at our data clips just to see part of the app, any of the rows. So if I just, so I've run these queries earlier, so just gives you an idea of what our data looks like. So the URL, the week ID for the charts, the week position for that particular song track, the performer, and the song ID. Alright, so we had that scheduled on Heroku. So before I go into the chart scheduler, let me just go into the chart scheduler. So this is another application that we were able to set up. So basically what our app scheduler does is it goes to the original location of our data set, which is online, that data world, and every 24 hours it will pull the record again and pull it to our API to update the records, and I'll show you that in a bit. So as you can see here, we've had so I tested it a couple of minutes ago, so it finally did work then, and I have it scheduled to run every 24 hours, which at 12 a.m. which it did successfully. So it's going to run in another 24 hours. Okay, and that's our scheduler. If you want to take a look at all the code, everything has been put onto GitHub as per the stipulations. Before I go to the site proper, let's go and look at the code itself. Right? So I'm going to go to my Visual Studio Code to see my environment. So this app.py, the key Python file that was used to set up our environment. So as you can see, we've imported the necessary programs. Flask is here. We have SQL Alchemy, Subprocess, OS, JSON, and then we've imported getData as GT as you would see, just to make our code pop a bit more. So this particular connected DB was an issue over the past week. I guess this is the major reason why we couldn't get the site up on Heroku, even though it was running on our local. Finally figured that out last. This is our API route. So as you can see, this is to render our template, which is the index.html. This is how we will render our records, which is our charts stay. If we go to get data, you see how we have that set up. So the queries itself, X value, our Y values, our songs. So this is the query, which is a simple SQL query that says select song counts, and this will give us a limit of 20 because, like I said, we have over 220,000 records. I'll show you that in a bit. Also, I have charts. Number one on charts. Number one of charts is going to show you the top songs on the chart and how long they've stayed on the chart. So I just limited that by 20 just to show that, and I'll show that in the front a bit. Also, I can just select rows by just using this get data. I'll show you that in a bit here. So not to spend too much time on that, let's go back to the app.py. So we have the route chart stay. We have chart stop stay, which is going to show you the number one songs that have stayed on the chart. And we can search as many data rows as we want. Okay, still have time here. Moving on. So if we go to our requirements, the text, you'll see everything that we installed on our environments. To get it up and running, Certify, Click, Flask, Slack, Alchemy, Unicorn, and the rest. What else do I want to touch? Yes, our JS file. So app.js is what is rendering plot our visualization on the front end. We did set up a bar chart. So that's that. Moving on quickly. Tried to set up a plot pie chart, but I didn't have time to set it up in the front end. But we have two plot charts. So one is going to show the chart top stay, and the other one's going to show chart stay. All right. And what else do I want to show here? Resources. No, I didn't end up using that. So everything is. I originally wanted to pull from this CSV to update our API, but it was better to use the scheduler that happened to be on Heroku to help with that part of the uh, of the task. All right, so just a bit of background into how this environment was set up. So we did use git bash. So git bash is like a shell command line. So git bash basically was used to set up the Python environment. And every time I want to run on my local, I simply just go to git bash and run the appropriate commands and do that. But if I still have time, I come back to that. So let's go to our. I'm just going to click on this. Let's do the reveal from the very beginning. So I can open it from Heroku itself. So if I click on open app, it's going to go to the app. So our app here, of course, we could make it look a lot more pretty, but another day, another dollar. So we set up a button here by JavaScript. When you click on it, we're going to see our chat top stay and the other chat that we have. So clicking on that, as you can see here, we have our chart. So Old Town Road was number 1 for 19 weeks. Despacito was number 1 for 16 weeks. Same with One Sweet Day. And the Lose Yourself by Eminem was number 1 for 12 weeks. And the second one here that shows the length that specific songs have stayed in the chart. So Stay was here for 207 weeks. Angel 205 weeks. Happy 157 weeks. I Want You 138 weeks in the Billboard 100 charts. So going back to our code where I mentioned, where is it now? The rows now. So if I wanted to see chart top stay, I could just do that directly from my URL. Yeah, so as you can see, it brings out all the records that are limited by 20. So these are the records that stayed on the chart. So our API is up and running, so you can see. And then if we want to see chart stay, take that off. The other view, we have that, all our records. So these are the songs that stayed longest in the Billboard Top 100. I'm limiting these records by 20, so there are a lot more, but just for the sake of this presentation. And if I want to see a lot more rows, so I can do as I showed you earlier, where it's that in our in our app, put it on. Yes, so data, and then we'll see our rows. So back here, so if I do data 100, it's going to show me 100 records. Yeah, so there we have it. This is full records coming directly from data, which is sourced online. So you can see records here, records here, records here, all the way down. We have 100 records. All right. Okay, and yeah, so I think I'm going to end our presentation here. Feel free to shoot us your questions. I hope we've been able to show you beyond all reasonable doubt that we are definitely able to help XYZ go to the next level in terms of your business operations online. Thank you.